Good morning. Good morning. We've got a lot to talk about. There's always, since there's just a brand new version of Final Cut Pro that just came out, and it's mainly for the iPhone 17 compatibility, which isn't the first time they've done that. Our good friend Ben from Louisiana, and he says, good morning. He's the first one in this morning, and he says, remove support for FireWire connected devices on Mac OS Tahoe. That's interesting. I captured FireWire with my Mac Mini M4, and it was fine. It's a little quirky, but I'm surprised it's supported in 2025. Hello from Denmark. The disk speed test done on a 512 model of the 17 Pro tells me it's not the speed of the SSD that prevents the use of internal ProRes RAW, as it's faster than USB. It is indeed faster. My test on my 1 terabyte was 10,000 megabytes per second write and 2,500 read. It's way faster than the Lexar drive that I have, which is about 1,000. So that's not the reason. And I kept telling people, I don't think the speed is the reason. I think it's something else. So what about the RAW patent thing? Is that still a potential issue, where they had, that Apple would have to pay a license fee for every iPhone that was sold if they recorded internally rather than externally? I don't know for sure now. I'm not saying that I'm an expert in the RAW patent, but everything that I've researched in the RAW patents talks about internal. So people got around it by doing external. I don't know what happened with them in Atmos. I have no idea. But I'm wondering if it's something to do that they don't want to get involved with that again, because they had a case in 2019 and they lost, apparently. So raw log support, that's about it, eh? No mixer. I'm giving up on hoping for a pro-level audio mixer. Don't give up, Ben. Don't give up. This update is not what I thought it might be. I thought they might have combined multiple things. This update was for the iPhone 17 Pro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Everything that's updated practically is about the i17 Pro. The i17 Pro Max had a great launch yesterday. And I think the Final Cut Pro team was told, make sure you get your Final Cut Pro update out to support everything that's in the 17 Pro. This was not the update. I'm glad we got it. I mean, look, I got my 17 Pro Max. I got a blue one, but it's in a black case, so it looks black, which is the way I like it, since I didn't do a black one. So yes, it's frustrating. Yes, their update schedule. I'm not going to defend that. I've never been a defender of their update schedule. It's been excruciatingly slow at times. Now, do we know all the reasons? Of course not. But other companies get better updates, longer, bigger updates out in a timely fashion. But editing TV shows for every day since 11.2 release, aside from some very minor hesitation with a few things, no real issues for me. Good morning from Lincoln, Nebraska. Good old Lincoln. I don't know if I've ever been in. Have I been in Nebraska? I don't remember. I've probably been in about a third of the United States, but not much more than that. Good afternoon from our friend. Absolutely. Good morning from Quebec, Canada. Good afternoon from Milan. How you doing there, Stefano? Red patent is no longer an issue after Nikon buying Red. From my research, the Red patent doesn't expire until 2028. I understand that Nikon bought them and it's not as aggressive, but I wonder if Apple doesn't want to take any chances. I don't know why else you can't record ProRes RAW internally on the iPhones It's not the speed of the SSDs because the internal one is extremely fast. On my 1 terabyte, it's amazingly fast. So if it's not the speed of the SSD, I never thought it was because I know these SSDs are fast. Is it iOS that can't handle? That doesn't make any sense. The only thing that makes sense to me is it has something to do whether they pay Nikon, whether they pay anybody pennies for license on every phone that's sold, because the problem is every phone that's sold is not going to a video editor. Millions and millions of phones will be sold, and if they have to do it, even pennies per phone, is a lot of money. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I don't know what else it would be since there's no tech note yet on that. Does it not yet support switching audio between cinematic at all? Nope, does not. Not that I've seen. Well, we're gonna open up Final Cut Pro. I did some filming. I did some ProRes raw filming on my iPhone 17 Pro Max. I got a lot of clips, and we'll go over and see some of the controls. Now, I'm not sure. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Okay, I'm just looking at Final Cut Camera and trying to decide, I tried to switch from 24 to 25 and it wouldn't let me this morning. It says something about frame rates this, frame rates that. So I don't understand what's going on. I need help. I need a concise step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 to get from point A to point B. Now, I understand it's not linear. It can split off in different directions. But I still need, I'll work with somebody if they want to help me. I'll do a tutorial based on somebody else's knowledge or let them do it with me. Red patent was actually stolen. I don't know if that's true or not from Nikon's JPEG patent, and that's why you sold $1 license fee for ProRes wrong. Yeah, I'm not going to get into anything like that. Good morning from Cambodia. Wow, Cambodia. I think you're the first person from Cambodia. I think. Thank you very much for coming in this morning. So far, except the only issue I've seen, and I've seen a lot of people report it, is a bit of a scratching issue on these iPhone Pro and Pro Max because they're aluminum bodies, and I guess something happened with this isn't the first time that these have scratched. They have scratched in the past. This had a case on it within 10 seconds of getting it out of the box. Getting it out of the box, immediately I put on a screen protector, and then after that I put on a case, and it'll live in here, except I take it off once in a while to clean if there's any dust that got in here, whatever. So far, shooting ProRes RAW. Listen, somebody knows about color. I'm shooting ProRes RAW. I'm shooting not the HQ version. I'm just shooting the regular version. I'm in Final Cut Camera. It gives me a few options, and I'm still confused. Do I choose log 2 in camera? Do I wait till I get it into Final Cut? But the clips that are coming into Final Cut, it looks like Final Cut is applying some kind of a LUT automatically based on the fact that it's ProRes RAW. That's what it looks like to me, but I don't know where it is. I don't see where it is, so. It's got some good stuff. I mean, this I'm really liking this. First off, it's got some beef to it. It's got some heft to it. Remember if you're old enough, Where's the Beef? It was a Wendy's commercial, I think. Where's the beef? They're looking for beef in a hamburger. This is probably the heaviest iPhone that I've had, and I like that. I want heft. I want this big plateau of a camera bar across there. I want that in my iPhone. I buy this for a camera. If it wasn't for the camera, I'd stick with my iPhone 15 Pro Max, 2 generations back. That's plenty good as far as the phone goes. But I like that. So it's really, really good. Now, what's been amazing to me is this case, which is a small case, and I've put in my Lexar system, and I plug it in to the base of the iPhone like this. And then I put in my, where is that? Did I bring it? Yeah, I brought it back here. I thought I did. And on top of that, I bring in my fantastic Hollyland Lark Max 2, so I can see that. But it's only this little, it's not the big receiver, not the big receiver. That's old school. Now it's this little tiny, the only problem is getting this thing out of the case. They should have made, it's a little bit hard getting out of the case sometimes. This little tiny receiver. This thing is tiny. It doesn't weigh anything compared to a typical, let's show you. These things are slippery. Compared to a typical receiver, this thing is tiny. It's completely tiny. You don't need this big receiver on the iPhone, dangling off the iPhone. This is for a DSLR. Now, this little teeny receiver doesn't weigh anything. So I have a 2 terabyte SSD right here, plugged into the dock. The dock is plugged into the USB-C port. And then I just put this little teeny audio thing on top like this, and it balances on a gimbal. It balances on my Insta360 Flow 2 Pro Max, whatever the heck it is, gimbal. It's a little bit overweight. The gimbal's rated at 300 grams. This is like 320 with the case. Without the case, it's fine. Without the case, it's less than 300. So I have Pro Audio, stereo, 2 microphones going in, and I have a 2 terabyte SSD so I can record ProRes log and other flavors of ProRes. And it balances on my Insta360 gimbal. This is amazing setup, and it's not that big and bulky. So I'm waiting for an update to the Insta360 that raises the weight limit from 300 to 400 like the new Hohem does. If they don't come out with one that raises the weight limit to 400, I'll probably end up getting the Hohem. But right now, this Insta360 gimbal is balancing. I know it's at the breaking point, but it is balancing with this setup. So I have 3 terabytes of usable space, well, 2 for ProRes RAW and 1 internal, and Pro Audio with this little teeny, doesn't weigh anything, iPhone receiver. Fantastic setup. Very, very pleased with it. Let's catch up on some more comments. Oh, here we go. Ben says updates for Pro Video support and FX Factor are out too. Thank you. Let me know that. I'll check on that later. My MacBook Pro decided it needed reauthentication last night. I haven't yet updated Sequoia, updated immediately after restoration. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on Sequoia now, and I've only run Final Cut Pro on Sequoia, Final Cut Pro 11.2 on Sequoia. So if you are recording RAW, you still await to view the RAW. So you are choosing log 2. It's merely what you are monitoring, not recording. RAW allows you to change the log profile in Final Cut Pro. But I've had, listen, I'm wandering around in this new log setup, and I'm trying this, and I'm applying log 2 over the inspector, and I'm applying log 2 in the floating HUD. I don't know the sequence. I just don't know, and I need help. So I understand, kinda. I understand what RAW is. RAW is the raw sensor, raw data off the sensor. It's got to be processed. I understand that. But the files coming into Final Cut Pro, from what I've read, Final Cut Pro automatically applies a LUT if it sees that it's a RAW file. And that's what it seems like to me, because the files are not coming in flat. They're not coming in flat. So am I doing something with Final Cut Camera that's burning it in? I don't know. I know it's not, because if I take, with different settings, it becomes flat. So I don't know. I need help. Good morning from chilly Montreal. Is it wintertime yet in Canada? I don't know. The update with this focus on the raw and recording ability on the new iPhones does explain why they postponed the Creative Summit until next spring, as they probably will not have anything to show us this year. Listen, they're unpredictable, okay? I put out a thing on Twitter and Facebook Thursday. I said, are we going to see Final Cut Pro 11.2 on Thursday, the day before the iPhones come out? I was sure they were going to update Final Cut Pro for the iPhone 17. I was positive about that. Well, it didn't come out Thursday. I'm saying, what the heck? It came out Friday, a day later. It came out after the phones, and then it came out. So I knew they were going to update Final Cut Pro for the phones. I knew that. It's just a matter of they don't do updates on Fridays typically. They don't do updates on Fridays. I don't think this is the first one I can recall they've ever done on a Friday. So, but it was iPhone day. So, but let me tell you something about why they postponed the Creative Summit. Do you see how busy Apple is this fall? The iPhone event, all these iOSs and Mac OSs and Final Cut Pro updates all happening. They are extremely busy in the fall. And they probably have another update coming in October for the M5. Apple is very busy in the fall. If Apple is busy, the Final Cut Pro team is not exempt from that busyness. They're not exempt from that busyness. Apple is extremely busy in the fall. Apple is not very busy in the spring. That frees up, this is theoretical, that frees up the Final Cut Pro team they're not as involved with any other Apple activity. But you're right. If we had gone to the Creative Summit, I'm not disagreeing with you. If we had gone to the Creative Summit and the big update was just ProRes RAW and the things that came out, it would have been disappointing to some. Now, I'm an iPhone owner, so it's not disappointing to me, but for the rest of the community, yes, that you're absolutely correct about that. But who knows what they could have done if they had to go this fall. But listen, let's wait till the spring. There'll be another update. It'll be a big update. All you need to know about ProRes RAW workflows in the Apple white paper. You're talking about the one from 2023? I haven't seen a new one, Eric. Is there a new one out? I have not seen a new white paper. Yeah. If you're talking about the one from 2023, it's not the same. So the tiny receiver this is the whole kit. This is the whole kit. It's the Lark M2 Max, it's Hollyland Lark M2 Max or something like that. It's got two receivers, and they're tiny. They're very tiny, and they're really cool. And it's got two transmitters, It's got two receivers. One receiver for the phone, which is really tiny. It's the tiniest little receiver. And then one receiver for DSLRs, because everybody was including me, was putting this bigger receiver on phones, and it's difficult on a gimbal because it weighs too much. So they said, we're going to make a tiny little receiver. This receiver, listen, I'll pull it off there. This receiver receives 32-bit float audio from the transmitters. This little tiny receiver, it receives 32-bit audio from the transmitters. So the transmitters / microphones transmits 32-bit audio to the receiver. This receiver transmits it or go via USB-C into the iPhone. Full transmission from the microphones into the iPhone, 32-bit audio. And it has a range of like over 1,000 feet. Not that I'd be that far away from my camera. And the quality of the audio is superb. I am very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. It comes in a little kit. And it also comes with headphones, wireless 2.4 gigahertz headphones, not Bluetooth headphones. They are Bluetooth if you switch them over, but not in a professional setting. In a professional setting, their 2.4 gigahertz transmission gives them like a 300-foot range rather than 10 or 12 foot that Bluetooth normally has. Compressor release notes state customized third-party raw video media extensions with the new raw processing inspector. I haven't got a chance to look at that yet, Ben. That's a good, thank you. Ben says it's fall here in the deep south already. We're in the low 90s, not the upper 90s. Very funny. Have you tested? Yes. I tested it yesterday on the live stream, and we're going to go over it today. I have a lot of clips, and we'll see some of the settings. Now, we had help yesterday. Sebastian, knows all about color. We had help with him yesterday. He told me to use the settings, the info on the inspector, and then go to settings, and there's something in there that's not available in the other options. Postpone Creative Summit in the spring. They're doing it in the spring. They've already announced that. They're going to have some kind of an announcement in December to give you a basic idea of what's going on, maybe a timeline, that this is the dates we got reserved, this is the hotel we reserved at. Maybe something is supposed to get an announcement in December. The actual event, they said, is in the spring. Now, here's the thing. Spring starts on March the 20th. How do I know that? It's my birthday. Spring starts on March the 20th. So if it's literally this spring, they're not going to do it at the end of March or the beginning of April because FMC is very tied up with NAB, which is their biggest event of the year. So FMC is not going to be available at the end of March, the beginning of April. So it's not going to be in that time frame. That leaves after NAB, which is, they don't want to do NAB and jump right into the Creative Summit. It's too stressful. So I presume it's going to be in May. I presume the Creative Summit's going to be in May because I don't know of any other events that FMC is involved with at that point, and they don't want to do it in June because that's WWDC. So, yeah, 2023, that's 2 years old. That doesn't cover, the iPhone version of ProRes RAW is distinct from just regular ProRes RAW. Why? I don't know. But there's a specific drop down in Final Cut Pro that says iPhone ProRes RAW. So whatever the distinction is, it's there. So we're waiting on an update. We're waiting on ProRes RAW for iPhone white paper. No, it's not the Lark M2. No. It's this whole kit. This whole kit is $279, not under $100. In order to get that small receiver, you got to buy the kit, as far as I know. Maybe they sell one microphone in that small receiver. I don't know. This is the Lark M2 Max something. Don't buy one of the other ones that won't have this ability. These microphones record internally 32-bit float, as well as transmit 32-bit float. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. Don't go buying. There's a whole bunch of Lark M2 buttons and this and that and this and that. This kit is $279. 2 receivers, and it has these wireless headphones Where in the heck are they? These wireless headphones that are fantastic. They're 2.4 gigahertz over-the-ear monitors. They're not in-ear. They sit over the ear. They wrap behind your ear and they sit over the ear. And there's little speakers, and they're excellent. This all comes with the kit for $279. I don't know if they divided it up. M Avenue says, I love the portability of iPhone, but I'm on the fence. I have option to buy with my budget. Get Fuji, yes. 6K open gate, better sensor. Yeah, of course. I have a Lumix S5 Mark IIX, which is 6K open gate, full frame sensor. Lenses cost more than the iPhone does. The lenses for that, fast lenses for that, full frame, cost more than an iPhone does. So I have 2 iPhones, a DJI Action 5, and my Lumix S5 Mark IIX. I don't need any more cameras. And I use my iPhones more than anything. And then the Action 5. So how do you record ProRes RAW with an external SSD and external mic receiver? What do you mean, how do I? I just open up Final Cut Camera 2.0. Let me see if I can point that to you. So here's what I do. Here's what I do. I got a 2 terabyte SSD hooked into my phone with this Lexar dock. I have Pro Audio from my Hollyland Lark Max 2 with this little tiny receiver plugged into the dock. Okay? And then I open up Final Cut Camera or Blackmagic Camera, either one. Let me see if I don't know if you can see it. I'll see if I can get it. Final Cut Camera at the very bottom here says Lexar. It automatically recognizes the SSD. Automatically recognizes the SSD. Final Cut Camera 2.0. So it's recognizing the SSD, which allows me to choose ProRes RAW from the menu. The audio, it has little teeny audio meters. Now I don't have my microphone on, so you can't see it, but it's got little teeny audio meters up here, and you can always just tap on the microphone. But in a minute, you'll hear the audio. You'll hear what I did recording with ProRes RAW. That's how you do it. Now, this also works with Blackmagic Camera. At this point, there's going to be, I'm sure, other third-party camera camera app, pro camera apps will have it shortly. So Ben says, how do you connect both devices to one port on the phone? Because I have this device is a dock. This device has 3 USB-C ports on it. Okay? This is a Lexar dock. That plugs into one USB-C port. The hard drive plugs into this USB-C port. The phone, the microphones plugs into this USB-C port, and there's one more here for power if I wanted to charge it while it was working. So this little dock has 3 USB-C ports on it. One for the mic system, one for the SSD drive, and the last one is for power delivery. It's a great setup. It's a great setup. Final Cut Camera. I'm glad Apple is improving the app. However, why is the audio meter the size of a grain of rice? 2 grains of rice. It's stereo. There is no way to adjust the level. No, listen. I understand. They got a way to go yet, but let's give them applause for what they've done so far. Coffee. So the Holly Landmark Max 2, two 32-bit recording transmitters, two receivers, one for DSLR and that tiny one for the phone. Now, you can still use the big one if you wanted to with the phone. You just got to use it with a USB-C cable. And headphones and wireless, and they're really, really good headphones. They're not in-ear like AirPods. They sit on top of your ear with a little speaker, and they're really good. The delay is minuscule, and you can hear audio very clearly when you hear your audio, both microphones. So I love that Lexar hub. One of these days I will have one. It's a long time, but I'm looking at it. So they had it on sale. I got a second because before the iPhones came out, I was convinced that you would not be able to record ProRes RAW internally, okay? And I was right. You cannot record ProRes RAW. No, not ProRes RAW. Yeah, ProRes RAW. You can't record it internally. It has nothing to do with the speed of the SSD. It's not what it is. Something else? I don't know. Something else. So based on that, I did not buy the 2 terabyte iPhone, and I bought this instead. A second Lexar 2 terabyte SSD, and it was on sale for $184, so I picked up a second one. So I have two 2 terabyte Lexar drives, the Lexar dock. So I have about 4 to 5, 6 hours of ProRes RAW recording, 5 or 6 hours with these two terabyte SSDs. They don't weigh anything. Lexar is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm glad to see Apple updating the camera app more, but I still feel more comfortable with the Blackmagic design. It's a great app. It's very complex. It's very complex. They got settings and settings and more settings and settings and settings. No, it is. Blackmagic camera app is phenomenal. Can you edit off the SSD with an iPhone, or do you have to copy files over for some editors? So you can edit the files like with LumaFusion on the iPhone. It's because it's in the Files app. I mean, it comes up in the Files app. The SSD does. So you can leave it plugged in and edit the footage on an iPhone. My choice would be LumaFusion. I presume that Final Cut for iPad. Oh, it doesn't work on the phone. That's right. So you can't do it on the phone. Anything you can plug this USB-C drive into, you can edit, but I wouldn't edit off of that. No, I don't edit till I make an extra copy. If that's the only copy that I have, I don't touch it until I make a copy on my MacBook Pro. Okay? So when I'm traveling, around here, it would just be I'd plug it into my Mac Mini Pro and make copies. I don't touch that. Treat that like a camera card. But anyway, you can. Yes, you can if you wanted to. With Blackmagic Camera, you can shoot on Apple ProRes internally, Richard. Not ProRes RAW. Not ProRes RAW. ProRes, you can record ProRes for years. I can record ProRes with my iPhone 14 and 15. You cannot record ProRes RAW internally with any app or you have to have an external SSD. Take my word for it. I've been going over this for over a week. You cannot record ProRes RAW internally. ProRes, yes, not ProRes RAW. That new Premiere comes out at the end of the month. That new Premiere, you mean Premiere the NLE? I use T7 for ProRes RAW recording, but Blackmagic Camera stops recording after a couple of seconds. It has to, yeah. it might be a bug. I don't know if the T7's fast enough, to be honest with you. I don't know. To see the problem with Mac OS 26. What problem? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Stefano says, you are right. Thanks for the detail. Well, because I did a video a week ago, and I said, I'm not sure what's going on here, but you can't, from what I can gather, you cannot record ProRes RAW except to an external drive on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. First off, you got to have an iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max because no other camera records ProRes RAW from iPhones. And then you have to have an external drive. Apple didn't tell us this in advance, but I saw the writing on the wall in advance. I saw the writing on the wall. So I'm not sure why they're not telling people this, but it would have helped if they had a little footnote, you need an external drive. But we know now you need an external drive. So I see why you use the iPhone more than Lumix, so it's accessible and convenient to use. I always have it with me. Everywhere I go, I have my iPhone on my side, or it's on my dashboard, or it's sitting on my nightstand. Everywhere I go, 24 hours a day, I have the iPhone. The quality is superb. This new iPhone 17 Pro Max is excellent so far. ProRes RAW, I like it now because it's new and the quality is there. I'm not going to be shooting for social media with ProRes RAW. The other thing, and I'm not sure what's going on, I tried to record the ProRes RAW 16:9, not open gate, but the camera was fighting me, and it just switched it over to open gate, which is okay. That's fine. It's a 4:3 sensor. It's open gate. That's fine, but it's interesting. I'm still having issues. I don't know where to apply the Apple Log to. Do I do it in camera? Do I wait till I get to Final Cut Pro? What's the difference? I don't know. I need help with that. I'm not a colorist, and I'm not going to spend time learning it, other than somebody saying, hey, this is what you got to do, step 1 through 10. Then that's fine. I personally am loving iOS and Mac OS 26. Excellent. I have Mac OS installed and I have iOS installed 26 on my new phone. But right now we're on Mont Sequoia, 15.7, I think. I think Adobe Premiere is subscription-based, absolutely. I finally upgraded my iPhone 12 mini to the 1 terabyte One i7 Pro Max. I'm waiting for it to come in. Absolutely. You mean the XR? The i7 Pro Max. Blackmagic camera, yes, they got a brand new update 3.0. This is all based around the iPhone. This is all based around, since the iPhone was announced 2 weeks ago, a lot of things have happened. They announced Final Cut Pro 11.2, iPad, Final Cut for iPad 2.3, Final Cut Camera 2.0, Blackmagic Camera 3.0. All this was based around the iPhone event starting 2 weeks ago. That's why I said to myself, I said, they've got to put an update out for the iPhone. That just didn't make sense that they didn't after all this pre-announcement. Well, I thought it would come out on Thursday because Thursday is the most common day that Final Cut Pro is updated. So I said, are we going to see Final Cut Pro 11.2 today? Well, it didn't come out Thursday. It came out the next day, Friday. Blackmagic Cloud, I think you're talking about it. Any problems with Mac OS 26 and Final Cut Pro? I'm sure there's some little things so far. I haven't seen anything. I'm not using it. I'm on Sequoia for this, but I will switch over. Because I don't have the time. I have to troubleshoot. I got to get Ecamm Live over there working. I have dozens and dozens of apps. I've got a lot of them over. Like, for example, I have an old legacy version of Text Expander. It doesn't work in Tahoe. So I switched over to ATEX, which does work in Tahoe, because I need a text expander. Mills, I've been editing TV shows all day long since 11.2 was released. Aside from minor hesitations on some things, no issues. Absolutely. I'm on Mac OS 26. Will that front camera feature track you in a sense if you set it up on a tripod? I shot a little bit of front camera, the square sensor this morning. Did it track me? I guess, yeah, because what do they call that? They call that some feature. Yeah, it does, but I didn't use that yet. M Avenue, thank you, Rich. My next purchase will be more mobile device. The Canon, etc., are a great camera, but they still not portable. And the iPhone for other smartphones, waiting to see what comes this fall. So yeah, so I'm not stage something. That's what it's called. Stage, that where the front camera will follow you and stuff. It tracks, Ben says it tracks his dogs. So I'm not in the market for a new camera. My Lumix S5 Mark II X is superb. I bought too many prime lenses, and I'm going to sell those. I'm going to keep a couple and sell the rest. And I finally got a zoom lens that goes from 35 to 150, which f2.8 aperture, constant aperture. So that's what I need. And I don't use that just once in a while. I might bring it to the Summit, because some of those Summit sessions, they're just a little too dark for the phones. And my DJI Action 5, which I have around here somewhere. So I have 4 cameras. My iPhone 15 Pro Max is going back to Apple as a trade-in on next week. I'll send it back. And I'll have the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Those are my main cameras. They're both phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. There we go. Center stage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Center stage. True. Julio says, compressor motion also updated. Sadly, iMovie seems to be non-existent for updates. Yeah. iMovie is this waddling along, whatever the heck it is. Whatever the heck it is. So do you want to see some ProRes RAW footage in Final Cut Pro 11.2 I shot this morning? Let me see if I can get to that. First, we'll do Ben's comment. I had 3 DSLRs up to until I got my iPhone 16, then sold them all. Now I use iPhone 14 and 16. I have no use. You know what, Ben? With this new one, I'm half tempted to do exactly the same. The only place it lacks is low light. A full frame sensor with a fast prime is superb in low light. The iPhones, that's the only place that I think that they lack. I haven't tried the 17 Pro Max yet. What's iMovie? Oh, wait, I seem to remember something about that. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go over here and go over here to the, let me go back to, I filmed this morning. So this is, let me get my live thing out of the way because we got to see the inspector. I'll pull over here. This is, why is that going? Turn that off a second. This is Final Cut Pro 11.2, and all the footage in this timeline below is all ProRes RAW that I filmed with my iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let's just play a little bit. I've done some color correction and stuff to this. I'll turn it off and let you see what it looks like without it, but let's go over here. Here we are recording some more ProRes RAW on my brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. I got the 1 terabyte drive because you can't record ProRes RAW internally on any of the iPhones. You can only record them externally. I'm using my 2 terabyte Lexar drive right now, and I have my Hollyland Lark II. Now, listen how good the audio sounds. The Lark Max 2 is phenomenal quality. It's just absolutely phenomenal. The other thing I wanted to say was, what else was I going to say? Let me see what's going on here. I'm using my 2 terabyte Lexar drive right now, and I have my Hollyland Lark II. Oh, I know what it was. It's OpenGate, 4x3. I tried to do a 16:9, and it was, the Final Cut camera app was fighting me about that. Some pop-up came up, you can't do this, you can't do that, so I just let it record in OpenGate. But this is OpenGate, this is the full sensor, which is okay. You can still crop it into a 16:9, that's fine. Let's just watch a little more. I'm using Hollyland Lark II Max microphone system, which is also mounted on my phone. It's all balanced with a case. It's all balanced on my Insta360 Flow Pro 2 gimbal. A little bit over the weight. It's over 300 grams, about 320, but so far it's staying balanced. So that's, I just did that this morning. I went out for my walk this morning. I got some more clips to show you. Sorry, my name is not Rick, by the way. I don't go by that. It's Rich or Richard. Richard's fine. The Fuji XM5, a small camera, fits in the palm of the hand, also better in low light and better dynamic range than iPhone. There's lots of cameras that are better in low light. There's dozens and dozens of cameras. Do you always have it with you? Do you always carry your Fuji everywhere you go? Do you go to the store, you go in the car, do you always have it with you? No, you don't. You don't. The iPhone is always by my side. I always have it available. So I can get a small camera. I don't want a small camera. The iPhone is superb for what it is, the size that it is, and I always have it with me. I'm on 26 on all my devices apart from my MacBook Pro 16-inch. Will stay on 15X for the full FireWire support. That's fine. You can dual boot with a new volume if you want to. That's what I've done. Clips look amazing. It's superb, and it's got a lot more controls that like I said, I'm not a colorist, so I don't understand them all, and I don't understand the sequence. I need help. Hollyland from audio, it's not loud. I mean, it's maximum, and that's the way I like my audio. It's 32-bit. It's not clipping, and you can turn it down. I've gotten wireless microphones before, and they had this little teeny waveform at the bottom of Final Cut Pro. That drives me crazy. I want my audio loud and robust, and I want it in 32-bit so I can turn it down if I want to a little bit. But this, I love loud audio. I bring it down to about 6 dB when I export it. This is just my timeline. It's not been exported yet. Let's watch a little more. And these are some of the clips that I filmed this morning. That's a wind sock. They have a weather station over there, so I guess it's somehow tied into that. These are just some things that I see on my morning walk, and I figured they might be interesting to film, so I stopped and filmed a few. And now this coming up is during the day this morning. This is one of the flowers in the garden. Notice it's all 4:3 aspect ratio. There's a little bee, bumblebee. another flower. I'm not sure what kind that is, but it's something. We'll get to the end here, and then we'll go over some of the settings that are available. This is the backyard. This is what you see out the window a lot of times. Different angle, but this is a different shot of the look at the clouds and the blue sky. And that's Sammy sleeping on his back porch. So one of the things when you're filming ProRes RAW and OpenGate, no stabilization. You don't have, it doesn't stabilize in the phone. So just FYI. After all, Apple iOS getting to 26 as version number. Why not Apple say compressor motion and now version 11, so more to follow. I don't know about their naming convention. Great show. Gotta go, Ben says. See you next week. Everyone have a good weekend. Absolutely. I'm seeing great quality on YouTube. Yeah, I am too. I am too. By the way, I can't recommend Topaz Video any longer as version 7 is very buggy and it crashes on updates. At the same time, they have new AI models or the video to be continued. Continued, it does not only utilize a fraction of the power of my M2 Ultra. Ben says he's out. Later, take care of those beautiful dogs that you have, Ben. Ben's works with rescue animals, and so do we. We do as well. As a matter of fact, let's see what's going on in the backyard. Here we go. So it's a different angle of the view you shot. I mean, you just saw. So. I'm watching on Apple XDR and 6K might be why it doesn't look so good. Looks good here. We missed the colorist guy today. I've been in contact with him. I'll see if we can get him to give us a workflow for the iPhone. Somebody's going to, there's, you know, listen, YouTube yesterday, there's 50 iPhone videos all over the place. All unboxing this, unboxing that. I have an unboxing. I've taped unboxing, but mine's a little different. I haven't put it up yet. But yeah, it's just like when Final Cut Pro 11 whatever comes out. Everybody does the same tutorials, almost. I mean, nothing wrong with that. And I usually watch most of them to learn things, a little different, but it's all covering the exact same things. So I'm surprised I haven't seen any of the big hitters do 11.2 yet. I'm learning the best I can. I like ProRes RAW so far, but I have 4 terabytes of external SSDs that I can shoot to. And then I pull them off here, plug them into my Mac Mini Pro, and just download them to a different hard drive. And then I, make a backup, then I erase the XR and it's ready for another 2 terabytes. Joby Victor says, I just joined. Any update on audio mix for iPhone footage? No, I haven't seen it. No, I have not seen that there is, but I don't know for a fact. Let me just go over here and look real quick. No, I don't see it. Now, are you that concerned about it? I mean, I'd like to see it for sure. If it's in photos, why not? Maybe Apple thinks of Safari as a platform, thus calling it Safari 26. They think of it different ways, but I've used it for a few vlogs, so people don't know what audio mix is. I think you have to use the built-in iPhone microphones. I don't think you can use the third-party microphone system. You have 4 options. I have a video up. Let's play the video. I did this a long time ago when I discovered that. Let me just do this. Let's find that. When I discovered that it was available, here it is. Let me just hold on one second. And we will get to it. Hold on one second. Let's try this. One of the questions that I have about the iPhone 16 Pro Max is their audio mix feature that they showed back in the fall. It looks interesting. They're using 4 microphones of the iPhone, and they have different options when you record with surround sound. You have cinematic, you have standard, you have studio, 4 separate settings that you can do on the iPhone 16 Pro Max with audio. My question is, where is that information stored? Is it stored in the file itself? Or is it only on the iPhone? Well, I found out the answer to that. So here, I located the file in my Final Cut Pro library in the Finder, and I drug it over to the Photos app on my Mac. And look what we have, audio mix on the Macintosh from the file that I imported in Final Cut Pro. So the information stays with the file. It's stored in the file itself. So since it's stored in the file itself, why can't we access that in Final Cut Pro? And when you export that file to your Mac, it's available on the Mac, but it's not available in Final Cut Pro. I was kind of expecting it in Final Cut Pro 11 at the Creative Summit last year, but it didn't show up. Now I'm thinking, when we get the first update, Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 or Final Cut Pro 11.0.2, probably around NAB this year. Nope, never. It's not shown up yet. It's very strange because the information stays with the QuickTime file. And Final Cut Pro can't access it, but Photos can. But you have to edit clips prior to Final Cut Pro. It's annoying, as if you want to change it in mid-edit, you have to go replace the video. Yes, I understand. I don't know why it not available in Final Cut Pro. I have no idea. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And I did that video a year ago, from right now, that why isn't this available in Final Cut Pro? Yes, exactly. They enabled cinematic, ProRes RAW now. I found a Blu-ray creator doing Blu-ray 4K on Mac OS Tahoe. Even Toast don't do this. Also, Intel-based the outbound is silicon. I'm not doing any DVDs with Tahoe yet. Alrighty, so let's get that old thumbs up. So first off, I want to say thank you to the Final Cut Pro team. They watch these live streams for getting us 11.2 out. Thank you for that. On the day of the iPhones. I mean, listen, I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about this phone. Oh, by the way, if you don't want the audio and the dock, you can just plug the SSD in. So let me show you how that's done. Let me unplug this. So if you don't want all those, if you don't need the audio, just using the iPhone audio, it comes with a little, this is how big, this is 2 terabyte SSD. This is a 2 terabyte SSD. So it comes with this little adapter plug-in thing. You plug it in here like this, and then you plug this into your phone. You plug that into your phone. So in this case, I just have the 2 terabyte SSD hooked up, and I don't have the I don't need the dock because I'm not doing Pro Audio. Does this have a separate? No. This doesn't have pass-through power. So if you just want the 2 terabyte, then you just do that. This SSD comes with this little U-shaped adapter. So you can just, 2 terabytes. So this phone now has, if I'm not shooting ProRes RAW, I now have 3 terabytes of data with very little weight. Very little weight. It's very, very easy. 2 terabytes. This also comes in 1 terabyte, but I really like it. I've had this for about a year. Haven't used it that much yet. But anyway, that's one of the things. My case has a hinge rubber plug preventing the use of the 180 adapter unless I want it covering the screen. I would get a different case, to be honest with you. As a matter of fact, I tried out, I ordered 3 or 4 different cases from Amazon for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And I sent 2 of them back, and I'm trying to decide between the other 2. One of the things that I want is I want cover on this part of the plateau. I want this covered. I don't want it exposed. So some of the cases just all open here. I don't want that. This case is pretty good. It has a cover here. The only problem with this case is the magnetic is not as strong as some of the other cases. Some of the other cases have an enhanced magnetic ring or something built in, so it improves the magnetic attraction when you put it on something. This one does not, so this one's going back. I may cut the plug off. Yeah, I would just get a different case. I mean, you can get cases that are $10, $12 that are pretty darn good. If you want to keep that case, if you like the plug, but yeah. So I get thin cases, but they do have a lip around. They have a lip around the screen and a lip around here, the plateau. So if it falls, it doesn't hit the ground, doesn't hit anything unless it's projecting up. So let's go back and watch a little bit. I'm going to show you some of the controls in Final Cut. So this is what I don't understand exactly. So let's watch this. So select the clip and you go to the inspector, but this info inspector, and Sebastian said to use the settings. It's also available, some things are available in general extended, but he said use settings, and I forget why exactly. There's something to do with color space. You can choose your color space. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know. So, but here's what you do. Modify ProRes RAW settings. So you click that. Where in the heck did it go? Oh, there it is. I have it off the screen. So this is a floating HUD, and this is ProRes RAW. So one of the things, processing standard or iPhone ProRes RAW. See, this is just one of the settings. iPhone ProRes RAW is distinct from regular ProRes RAW. Why? I don't know. I don't know, but it is. Let me just pull that up. Go over here. So you have that setting, you have ISO, you can set your ISO to different settings. This is, once again, using the raw sensor data. So you're actually affecting the raw sensor data. You can exposure bias. It's like you want to add exposure. You can add exposure. This is for ProRes RAW. This is, I usually don't use this because I don't like it. As shot white balance, it changes it like that. I like a little more saturated, so I leave it like that. You can change the color temperature, tint. Now, demosaic has custom allows you to adjust these three settings. Edge contrast, detail enhancement. If you have it on standard, you don't have that option. You don't have the option. So if you want to adjust those, put it on custom. Now here's what's weird, raw to log. I don't quite understand where in the process I apply log to. It's available in the Final Cut Camera app, and it's available here. But when I apply it here, I don't know. I think Final Cut's already applied something when I brought the footage in. So raw to log, you got Apple Log and Apple Log 2, but look what it does. So there you go. It's like back to the flat. Something, I don't understand exactly what's happening, but that's one of the things there. So let's go back. My case has a hinge cover for the camera. The 17 Pro has 3 different covers for the camera available sliding. Okay, it's very cool. Mine flips in. The out direction sticks out from the case. Down interferes with the magnetic area. I got you. Something doesn't sit right with me. Richard, Apple buying Pixelmator Pro feels off. I don't think they've acquired it. So let's just collect dust. I'm sure they have plans to tie it into their Creative Pro apps. No, they've already bought it because it's now the update is through Apple in the App Store, and I don't see much changes. Lens covers also change the weight and balance on gimbals. Absolutely, I don't use lens covers. I understand what you're saying. I'm going to update I got the Insta360 Pro gimbal, which is a fantastic gimbal, but the weight limit, as all of them have been, is 300 grams. The new Hohem something Ultimate is 400 grams. So if Insta doesn't come out with a new 400 gram weight limit gimbal, I'm going to buy the Hohem because I want that extra. Probably. I'm not in any hurry. When I take the cover off my phone, the weight of all those, the SSD and the Hollyland mic is less than 300 grams. When I put the cover on, it's about 320, but so far it's stayed balanced, even though it's over the weight limit. But I like to get a 400 gram minimum weight improvement on a new gimbal. Maybe ProRes RAW have some specific metadata. It's exactly what's happening. I think that's pre-LUT. Shouldn't the raw video file be really flat, like Apple ProRes, Apple Log? Shouldn't it be flat? It doesn't come into Final Cut that way. Something is applied coming into Final Cut. Final Cut applies something somewhere, and I haven't figured it out where. Can you show the name of Lexar you use? Yes, I can. Let me go look it up on Amazon, and you'll be able to see. Let's do this. Close that down. Close this down. This is the Lexar that I'm using. This is the Lexar. It's 2 terabyte. It's $269, but I got it on sale for $184, I think. I bought a second one. I bought one when it first came out last year, and I bought a second one. But if you're going to get it from scratch, get it with the hub. Absolutely, get it with the hub. There's no reason not to. For an extra $30, you got the hub. So, $300. $300. If I were to get the 17 Pro Max, I'd get a sliding lens cover. Doesn't interfere with the flash and sensor, but I'm sticking with my 16 Pro Max for another year. So I have little teeny lens covers on these 3 lenses. I have little, they just pop on, they're just adhesive or there's whatever. This is all covered with the case, this area, and these are really recessed. These 3 things are recessed in the case. So these are the only protruding things, and they're covered with a lens cover. I got a cover on the front as well, and there's also a lip around here, and there's a lip around here as well. It protrudes a little bit. So, and I have Apple Care, theft and loss, damage, and all that stuff. So I've never had an issue with losing my iPhone, but I don't want to take a chance because I do travel. I'm going to California. I will be going to the Crave Summit next spring is what I'm planning on. Once again, we want to thank the Final Cut Pro team for giving us 11.2 on a Friday. Thank you. They do watch this live stream. They do watch it. It's the backyard. These leaves are getting ready to change, and I'll have to deal with that for the rest of the fall. I'll have to deal with that because right now they're green. Mostly oak trees on our property. Mostly oak trees. Here you go. ProRes RAW. When opening ProRes RAW, Final Cut Pro automatically Bayer plus color transform to turn the raw sensor data into a viewable image. By default, this looks normal, Rec 709. Yeah, I knew it was doing something. But I'd like to have control over that, I think, to turn it on or adjust it. I don't understand the whole process. So maybe I will. Maybe somebody will put out a good workflow. Summits in this, all they know is this spring at this point. They're supposed to make an announcement in December, and they said they're going to show the timeline or the schedule or who's showing up. I'd be surprised. They might know the dates because they got to book a hotel. They got to book a hotel 6 months in advance. So they might have the hotel booked already, and they might know the dates. And of course, we're going to be back at Cupertino because we want to go to the Spaceship Campus. That's where the Final Cut Pro team is. The Spaceship Campus. They're not going to move the Spaceship Campus to someplace else and then we go there. No, we're going to Cupertino because we want to visit the Spaceship Campus. That's one of the biggest benefits about the Creative Summit. That space, I've been there twice. It's phenomenal. It is gigantic. It's at four stories tall with a glass all the way around. And is it a quarter mile or 1 mile around? It's gigantic. It's really, really nice. What month in the spring? I don't know. We don't have spring here. Oh, I'm sorry. Spring starts on March the 20th. So at the end of March to the beginning at halfway through June is spring. in the United States. So April, May, the end of March, April, May, beginning of June, halfway through June. Two-thirds of the way through June is spring here. Those are the months. So it won't be at the end of March and it won't be at the beginning of April because FMC is tied up with NAB. It's tied up with NAB. So, and they'll need a break after NAB, so it won't be like the third week of April. I presume it's going to be in May. That logistically makes the most sense to me. It'll be in May. So we'll find out more. They've promised us they're going to give us information in December, which is good. Now, if they mean spring just next year sometime, it could be before the end of February, beginning of March. But that's not spring, that's winter. So if they technically mean the real spring doesn't start till March the 20th. Could it be in February? Yes. Could it be at the beginning of March? Maybe. February would be a good month, as far as I'm concerned, but that's not spring, that's winter. If they're being literal, if they literally mean spring starts on March the 20th. I don't know that they are. They very well could say February. Yeah, we said spring, but it's February. That's fine. That's fine. I can make it in February. Absolutely fine. A lot of activity around this iPhone 17 Pro Max event. Blackmagic updated a bunch of stuff. They added support to ProRes RAW and DaVinci Resolve. They have the new iPhone dock, which looks really, really cool. HDMI out and a bunch of other things. $300, $299. Apple and Blackmagic are doing this. So I expect ProRes RAW at any time. I don't think you need a Final Cut Pro update for that. I think Blackmagic just has to release the extension or the plugin to get ProRes RAW to work in Final Cut Pro. That's what I think. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case. I don't think you have to update Final Cut Pro, but Blackmagic could add the extension, add a plugin, and Final Cut Pro is updated at the same time. Small update to allow for B-roll. B-roll will definitely be coming into Final Cut. I would be surprised if it doesn't come this year. I have the Hohem gimbal, and it's fantastic, but it's heavy, professional, but very big. Has a lot of options, but are complicated. Maybe for my kind of video, DJI Model Insta would be more appropriate. The problems is I'm at the maximum payload for my Insta. I'm waiting. Insta's not sitting still, and neither is DJI. I expect a DJI gimbal with a higher payload, 400 grams or more, and I expect the Insta360 gimbal as well. And I will look at both of those, but I want a 400-gram gimbal at this point, and then I'll sell the one I have now, which is a great gimbal. In terms of use, I use an ND filter lens with an adapter and love it because it maintains shutter. Yes, I understand that. So you do need a higher payload gimbal. So if for example, the rest of this year, there's no update from DJI, there's no update from Insta as far as a new gimbal, I'll buy the Hohem. Or if I see the Hohem on sale on Amazon, I'll buy it, try it out, because you can always return it as long as you don't, use it too much. They postponed Summit. I hope they give a reasonable big update for Final Cut Pro this time, like a tech. Yes, I listen, I agree 100%. No sense in having a Summit without an update to Final Cut Pro. That doesn't make any sense. It's all about Final Cut Pro. We need a big update. Look at this guy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, absolutely. It makes all the difference to my channel. Like and subscribe. Absolutely. And tell your friends. Tell your Final Cut Pro friends. Absolutely. Let me see. We have 23 people watching on X right now. 23, which is very, very cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Absolutely. BRAW and up-to-date Mac OS seem very closely related. So when we saw the Final Cut Pro Apps team presentation last year at the Creative Summit, after they went through the presentation, at the very end, Bill Davis came on stage and said, oh, by the way, BRAW is now completely possible inside of Final Cut Pro. So BRAW was announced last November, natively in Final Cut Pro was announced last November. But I think, well, Apple and Blackmagic obviously work together. But I think Blackmagic has to do the real plug-in work, or if it's an extension work, whatever the heck they have to do. And they haven't done it yet. They've been busy themselves. I expect it at any point. It doesn't need a major update from Final Cut Pro, as far as I know, to get BRAW into Final Cut Pro, to use it in Final Cut Pro natively. It can happen at any time. Happen at any time. Richard, do you know that Mac OS Tahoe diminished fire? Yes. We have to capture our old mini DB tapes faster. So you just keep an old version of your old Mac OS. I have, on my Mac Mini, I have two volumes. They're virtual volumes. One is for Tahoe, which I installed, and one is for Sequoia, which it came with. Now, be careful. Do not, if you're going to do that, do not use software update. It'll overwrite your existing. I almost did that for the second time. I had to stop it. It'll overwrite your existing volume. Make a separate volume and find the download, the direct download for Tahoe. I found it, downloaded it, launched that, and that'll ask you what disk you want to install it on. If you just use software update, it won't ask you crap. It'll just overwrite your existing volume. No. Make a separate volume on your SSD, install Tahoe on the second volume. Your other Tahoe volume is, or Sequoia volume is completely intact, doesn't affect it. We really need major update to bring us some of the Resolve level functionality. For me, better color tools and precision audio editing. I'm with you, but I'd like to see text-based editing. Text-based editing, better captions, subtitles, and an audio, roles-based audio mixer. The roles-based audio mixer has been in Final Cut Pro for years. They have it in Final Cut Pro. They just haven't released it yet. It's there. It's there. They just haven't released it yet. The same way I knew there was a scrolling timeline in Final Cut Pro. All these years, they had a scrolling timeline, but they didn't turn it on until 10.7? I think it was 10.7, 10.8, something like that. The Hohem 3 Ultra is 15.1 ounces. It's 13 ounces. I'm talking about the weight of the phone. Talking about the weight of the phone. Is that what you're talking about? No, I'll go by grams. 400 grams for the Hohem, 300 grams for DJI, 300 grams for Insta360. Every other gimbal for iPhones has a 300 gram limit. The Hohem V3 Ultra is the first one. It's 400 grams. That's what I need. That's what I need. So I can. I'm good. Without the case, I'm fine. I regularly hit my internal SSD's capacity, so a separate volume on that SSD isn't an option. I need to get an external SSD. Okay. You can do that as well. You can get an external SSD. Just don't use software update. It'll overwrite your existing volume. Make a separate volume or just get the SSD and you can install it on that whole SSD if you want. You have to download Tahoe. There's a direct installer you can use. Don't go through software update. It'll overwrite. Download the installer and double click on that. And when it launches, it'll say you're going to install Tahoe. Where do you want to install it? And it'll default to whatever you started up with, but it says show all disks or something like that. And you click on that, and then you'll see your other connected volume. Install it on there, and that leaves your original volume completely 100% intact and working. Why they hold back the audio-based rolls mixer, look, not logic. Why did they take 13 and a half years to get a scrolling timeline? They took 9, 10 years to get dupe detection. They took 5 years to get remove attributes. No idea. No idea. Well, my idea is they need to optimize it. And that's why it's not optimized enough yet, but it's there. The roll space mixer absolutely is there. Support for 3 monitors. I got 3 monitors right now. This one, that one, and my MacBook Pro. I don't know how that works with Final Cut Pro, but if that's not there, that seems rather odd. Yeah, you should have support for 3 monitors, absolutely. Everybody's got their own list, don't they? In Final Cut Pro, I never tried 3 monitors in Final Cut Pro, so I'm probably wrong about that. No, I'm talking about the fact that the Hohem is only a fraction heavier than the Insta360 gimbal, and I brought it because of the 400-gram payload as my Insta360 Flow 1. Yes, I agree. No, I'm not debating that. I agree with you that I need a 400-gram payload gimbal, whether it's DJI, whether it's Insta360. If they don't, they're going to have one. Usually they have a new gimbal when the new iPhone comes out. Every year at this time. They'll have one before the end of the year, both of those companies, DJI and Insta360. It's got to be close to 400 grams with other cool features before I would consider it, but I am looking to get upgrade to a 400-gram gimbal for the iPhone. I really, that's it. So I'm having fun with ProRes RAW this weekend. Maybe for the next week, I'll record. But I won't be using it all the time, and I probably won't even be using it half the time. I may be using 10 or 15% of the time. Give us non-dark interface for editing on the go in brighter environments. Another good point. That's very, very cool. So what was I just going to say? Talking about the gimbals or the Lexar, whatever the heck. I don't even remember. Something. So the summit is next spring. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I've uploaded some ProRes RAW clips. I don't know if they're finished uploading yet or not. Let me go ahead and look. If you want to download those files, they're on my iCloud account. You'll need to send me your email address. And then I will add you to that folder where the files are. Now, these are just if you want to play around with ProRes RAW and Final Cut Pro 11.2, and you don't have an iPhone 17 or other way of getting ProRes material. I have uploaded 5 or 6, something like that, and they're big files. Like I try to keep them short, but some of them are 2 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, 5.3 gigabytes. So they're big files that are going to take a while to download. But if you want to download these clips, you got to send me your email, and I'll add you to the people that can access that folder. Now, you can send me an email, richard@fcpx.tv, richard@fcpradio. You can contact me in Messenger on Facebook. You can contact me Messenger on X platform, Richard Taylor TV. Anywhere all my social media is the same, Richard Taylor TV, or one or two are just Richard Taylor. They're all the same. Contact me anywhere for social media. Say, hey, I'd like to download those ProRes RAW files to play around with. And I'll add you to the folder, and I'll send you the link, and that way you'll be able to download those files to play around with. How does that sound? Somebody suggested that yesterday. I said, that's a great idea. I got all kinds of files. So I'm hoping somebody puts out a tutorial on the iPhone 17 Pro Max ProRes RAW workflow inside of Final Cut. And I mean step 1. This is the first thing you want to do. And sometimes there's 2 different places to do it. The floating HUD and the inspector. I don't understand. And here's step 2 you want to do. Now, I understand there's just not one single workflow, but get us started in the right direction if you can. Somebody on YouTube or whatever you want to do. Because I am not a colorist. I don't play one on TV by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm really liking the iPhone 17 Pro Max a lot. I got a new case coming today. This one is really good, but the magnetic ring is not it's not an enhanced magnetic ring, and I need an enhanced magnetic ring. That's one of I don't want a big bulky case because I need to put it on a gimbal. I need to get this. I need to be able to fit that over top the case in the back. It's got a clip in. But I want this covered, this area covered, and I need an enhanced magnetic ring, not just the regular magnetic from the phone. They have them that the phone hits another magnet, and that magnet, amplifies the magnetic properties of the case. That's what I need. We got 11.2. It's mostly about the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but don't worry, there are more updates to Final Cut Pro in the works. Of course there are. We know there's going to be one at the summit. That's going to be a big one. Could that be 12? I don't think so. I mean, if you look at Logic, Logic went to 11.1, 11.2. They're probably going to go 11.3. It could, though. I mean, who the heck knows? Final Cut Pro went from 10.8 to 11. So they could go to 12. But if they're really skipping a lot, they could probably go 11.3, 11.4, something like that. Could there be another update between now and the Creative Summit? There could be, but it's less likely because we got 11.2. The holiday season's coming up. The M5 Max are coming out. Probably there's going to be another Apple event in October. I'm not that confident that there's going to be another update between now and the spring. I think the next big update is going to be at the Creative Summit in the spring. If they mean it says your contact link on TV website is not working. It works in radio. Which TV? I have multiple TVs. Richard Taylor TV, FCPX TV. Let me go look. Probably you're talking about FCPX. Let me see what I have over there. I'll fix it right now live. Let's see. Okay, contact. Here we go. Let me see what's going on here. Aha. Yep. Click on the Twitter link and it'll work. Let me go fix that right now. Contact. Because do I have that up and running? While I'm thinking about it, hold on 1 second. I'll fix it right now. It should be working, but it's not. Okay, let's go over here. Look at this live stuff going on. Okay. Index. Nope. Don't want to do that. Master 1. There it is there. Okay, let me... Why isn't that working? Let me go find out. Link. Enable as a hyperlink. Wait a minute. Aha. Let me do this. Email message. You know what? This is going to take a while. It's got to change all the files. So let's do that. All right, it's going to upload all the files to my, and then we'll try it, and then that should work. Just send a request for the link to the files via email. I'll get to your requests this afternoon. I got to finish uploading the files because it takes a long time. And so you can do it email, you can do it on YouTube. Go to any of my videos and just try the recent ones. Say, hey, send me a link to those files if you don't mind. Here's my email address. Send me a message in Messenger on Facebook. Send me a message on Twitter, on X. Send me a message anywhere social media that I am, or go to my websites, richardtaylortv.tv, fcpx.tv, fcpradio.com. All those places should be working. Let me see if this is working yet. Yes, it's working. I got 2 requests for the ProRes files. I will get to them this afternoon. Thank you very much. The link is now working. Thank you for telling me it wasn't working. I did not. Let me do this. Put your information in notes page. Copy address, here's one. There's one. And here's the other one. Let me just put these down here so I have them for later. I will add both of you later. Now, I'm not going to, I don't check my email on weekends, but I have both of you for later this afternoon. So check back in a few hours and you should be able to access. I'll send you a link to those files. Very good. Very, very cool. Thanks for everything, Richard. You're a star. Thank you. It's very nice of you to say. I do things in this stage of my career. I do things that I enjoy. I enjoy Final Cut Pro. I enjoy talking to all of you people every Saturday. Absolutely. Let's give a round of applause to everybody. It's all for you. You come around. And you come around, so I enjoy talking to you. So, Tip, I can confirm AirPod Pros 2 can be used as mics in iPhone camera app. Is there a setting in the camera app? Because I don't see any way to enable audio in the camera app. Or is it just automatic if the AirPod Pros 2 are connected? Do you know? How did you do it? Just AirPod Pros 2 connected to your phone, and automatically the native camera app uses them? Is that what happens? Ah, here you go. It's Fiddly Open Control Center. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But I really like my Hollyland Lark Max 2. It's the best wireless mic system I've ever used. I started with Rode. I went through 2 generations of Rode. Then I went through 2 generations of DJI Mic 1 and 2. And then I didn't like the Mic 2 anymore, so I switched over to the Hollyland, and it's fantastic. The quality is excellent. And it's tiny. The microphone's tiny. The transmitter's tiny for the phone. It's really, really cool. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here for today. Let me see what this says. Open Control Center when in camera app. At the top, a bar called Camera Control appears. Click on that and change audio source to AirPods. That's a great, great tip. That's a great tip. I'm going to put it back up there. There you go. Look at that. We get such great tips from people. I was wondering how that works. So you have to open the camera app, then go to Control Center. And there's a feature up there. Handy for if you're just out and about, no planning. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I like the DJI Action 5 camera microphone system. When you have it fairly close to you, it sounds really, really good. Same with the iPhone. If I'm holding the iPhone, usually it's close enough that the audio sounds really, really good. It has dual amplifiers. I'm not sure what that means. Dual amplifiers. I'm not sure what that means. It has dual receivers, and it has dual headphones. I'm not sure what dual amplifiers. Needed for 30. Oh, I see. Needed for 32-bit. Okay. Yeah, so this is the only system. They record 32-bit internally, this little tiny microphone transmitter. It records 32-bit internally, which I don't get a mic system that doesn't have backup recording. It also transmits 32-bit to the receiver, and the receiver transmits 32-bit to the iPhone. So it's full chain 32-bit audio. Not only you have your backup audio in 32-bit, but your device. Now, your device has to support 32-bit. I don't think any DSLRs, except for maybe the most recent one, supports 32-bit natively. The Panasonic does if you get a $500 add-on. XLR package add-on, it'll support. I'm not paying $500 for 32-bit audio. I can record it in my microphone. I'll sync it up. But anyway, yeah, that's That's a big deal. That's the only one that transmits 32-bit to the phone. The phone accepts 32-bit. I think the iPad does as well. Most DSLRs and cameras do not have 32-bit audio yet. They will have 32-bit audio, but they don't yet. The new ones will, I mean. Anything else you want to see for the before we get out of here? This is the Final Cut Pro. These are all ProRes RAW files. This is me this morning. I got the terabyte drive because you can't record ProRes RAW internally on any of the iPhones. You can only record them externally. I'm using my 2 terabyte Lexar drive right now, and I have my Hollyland Lark 2 Max. This was let's just say, I don't think I'm going to get to it this weekend. Let's say I'll have it up on Monday, and I'll send you the link. You guys are the first ones, because I don't do email on the weekends. I just happen to check that out. But anyway. I'm waiting for somebody else to do a tutorial on it. The workflow of ProRes RAW with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. A good one. Give me 10 steps. Go here, set this, set this, set this, set this. Start with the recording in the Final Cut camera or the Blackmagic camera. What do I set things at? Because log 2 is available there too. Do I set it there for log 2 or not? Do I just come into Final Cut Pro, which demosaics things, otherwise you wouldn't have any recognizable image whatsoever. So Final Cut Pro does something automatically, but what do I set the camera at when I first record? Both Blackmagic and in the Final Cut camera. Once I bring it in, where do I adjust things like raw to log? Where is that in the workflow? I don't know. To get the optimal image, obviously you can do a couple of things to make the image the way you like it. So this is like I said, it's a floating HUD. I like HUDs because I can put it over here and I can just go from here to here. Well, you're not even seeing what I'm saying. So I like HUDs a lot. For it's, that way I can just go from here to here rather than from here and I got to go all the way up to here all the time. No, I'm just going from here to here. I can put it closer to me. I'm just going from here to here, here to here, rather than here all the way up to there and all the way back again. I like these. So that's available right down here when you have ProRes RAW footage. Modify ProRes RAW settings. And that pops this up. Brings up that pop-up window. Notice what it says, standard or iPhone ProRes RAW. There's a distinction, and I don't know what it is, with iPhone ProRes RAW versus regular ProRes RAW. There is a distinction between the two. Don't forget, everyone, like and subscribe. YouTube, Richard Taylor TV. That keeps this channel going. It'll get better and better and better. Don't forget that. And if you want to join our Facebook group, facebook.com groups Final Cut TV Radio. Don't forget. And then subscribe. I got to put that above it, don't I? There we go. Subscribe. Give it the old thumbs up. All that stuff helps the algorithm, whatever the heck that is. Some kind of mysterious black magic over there in YouTube land. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks each and every one of you for tuning in today. We're here every Saturday, typically between 10 and 12. There's going to be one Saturday coming up. We're going to have the show at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I'm completely booked up in the morning. It's not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. I got to go to the airport and a bunch of other stuff, so I won't be doing a show that Saturday morning. I'll switch it to the afternoon, maybe at 2 o'clock. But you'll know if you subscribe. Thank you, iKnowBuddy, for showing up on the good old X platform. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. My name's Richard Taylor, as you know. Leave plenty of comments in the videos. I'll answer as many as I can see. Questions. Thank you, Final Cut Pro team, for giving us 11.2 yesterday. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This is the best Final Cut show, live show, out there because of you, because of all the listeners and the watchers and the people that make comments all the time. It's because of you that makes this show success. We're going to head into our third year in January. 3 years, every Saturday we're here. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you again soon.